Okay, so this will be the continuation of the discussion for brakes and clutches. So we still have three more problems to answer. Pero ito, very brief na lang yung pag-answer sa kanila. So let us go with the first problem of the last three problems. A disc clutch having an outside diameter of 32 cm and an inside diameter. So you have 32 cm for outside diameter and 12.7 cm that is connected to an engine that turns at 750 RPM. The coefficient of friction is 0.6 na relatively high for a friction material, while the pressure between friction surfaces is, so you are given there yung pressure in contact, that is 2 kilogram per cm squared. So you are asked to compute the power transmitted by the engine. So ano ba ang ano natin dito? Ano ba ang formula natin for power? Now, walang sinabi sa problem if this is a new clutch or an old clutch. So, sa choices mo niyan, pagdating mo ng board exam, titignan mo yung choices, di ba? If you can get any answer using yung uniform pressure, which is, balikan natin, kung saan ba ginagamit yung uniform pressure. Kapag hindi sinabi sa problem na kung it is a new clutch or an old clutch, you are ought to assume that you have to use first yung formula for new uniform pressure. Now, if anything else fails to show you the right answer, then that is the time for you to change the way you solve the problem. So, magre-resort ka dun sa other way around. Ano yun? Yung uniform wear. Pero dito, hindi nga sinabi. So, let us assume that this problem is a uniform pressure type of problem. Okay. Ano ba yung mga kailangan natin dito? So, we assume that it is in uniform pressure or it is a new clutch. Kukunin natin ngayon yung mga formula na nakapaloob dun sa new clutch. So, kunin natin, ano ba ang ask dyan? Yung power. And then, yung uniform pressure, formula for the area of the face, and then yung mean radius. Ayun, ilista natin dun. So, the power you need, N, for the number of pairs, the number of clutches na meron ka dyan, or the number of disc, the coefficient of friction, you multiply it with the applied force, and then multiply it with the RM, or the mean radius, and then multiply it with the rotational speed of the clutch, divided by the factor. Ngayon, we assume that it is in uniform pressure or it is a new clutch. Yan. So, kung new clutch yan, yung RM natin, gamitin natin yung kanyang diameter. So, that is 1/3 multiplied to yung DO cube minus DI cube divided by DO squared minus DI squared. Let us check the formula kung tama ba. Andito yung ating formula. So, it is correct. Then, proceed tayo dyan. Now, ang hahanapin natin dito is FA. Wala ka nito. Okay? FA. Given yung pressure dyan. Recall, note, meron kang given na pressure dito. Yung pressure na given dyan is 2 kg per cm squared. Okay. Di ba ang pressure from statics lang, that is the force that is applied over an area. So, meron kang area dito nung clutch disc mo, meron kang pressure na given. So, masasolve mo ngayon si force applied. Now, for the force applied, that is pressure multiplied to the area. Now, yung pressure that is given to you, 2 kg per cm squared. Now, binigyan ka ng area dyan. Yung area mo, that is pi over 4. Tapos, DO squared, ilan yun? 32 cm. Square natin to. Minus 12.7 squared. Nakalagay dito cm squared kasi naka-square yan. Now, Kung maka-cancel natin yung mga same units diyan, ang lalabas diyan is kilogram force. Now, ano ba yung ah, conversion factor kapag kilogram force? 'Di ba? You have 9.81 newtons per 1 kilogram force. So, maka-cancel natin yung kilogram force dito. Ang lalabas diyan ngayon is in newton, yung unit. So, solve natin kung ano yan. 2 divided by 4 at is pi over 2 na lang. Pi over 2. Then multiply it with the 32 square mo minus 12.7 squared. And then multiply it with 9.81. Anong lalabas dyan in newtons? That is 13,293.94. 13,293.94. Okay. Newtons. Force pa lang yan. We are asked to find yung power. Now, the power transmitted, anong binigay sa'yo dyan? Ilang phases of the disk ang meron ka dyan? A, clutch disk. Ibig sabihin, isa lang ang clutch na meron ka dyan. So, N is 1. Yung frictional coefficient mo is 0.6. You multiply it with the force that is applied. Ito yung ngayon nakuha natin. 13,293.94 newtons. Multiply natin siya nung RM. Nakuha ba natin yung RM? Hindi pa. So, diretso na natin. Diretso na natin yung RM. 1 over 3. Then, multiply it with DO. Ano ba yung DO mo dyan? DO is 32 cube minus 12.7 cube. 32 squared minus 12.7 squared. Ngayon, dito, cm squared, cm cube, cm squared, ang matitira lang is cm. And then, we multiply it with RPM. Ano ba yung RPM na binigay sa'yo dyan? Okay. Ilan? 750 ata, kung di ako nagkakamali. 750 RPM. Multiply to 750 RPM. Ang problema mo dyan, naka-cm. O, i-convert mo pa yung cm mo into millimeter. So, you have 1 cm every 10 millimeter. Kasi yung conversion natin dyan is naka-millimeter yung factor. Solve natin lahat sila. Okay? Yung factor kasi is 9,549,123 Newton millimeter RPM per kilowatt. So, cancel all the same units. Ang lalabas dapat dyan, power, kilowatts dapat. For uniform wear, assume natin nandun sa choices. Newton millimeter RPM. Ang lalabas is kilowatts. So, isave ko tong value na to kay A para hindi na ako magta-type ulit. Yan. 0.6 multiply to, recall natin si A. And then, multiply to 1 over 3. Okay. Times multiply natin kay 32 cube minus 12.7 cube. Yan. Tapos, 32 squared minus 12.7 squared. Okay? Sapat na yan. Times 750 times 10. And then, 9,549. Tatlong zero sa factor. Now, the answer will be 74.36 kilowatts. Okay? That is for uniform pressure. For new clutch. Ang lumabas is 74.35. The power for uniform pressure is 74.35 36 kilowatts. What if sinabi naman sa problem, may follow-up. What if you are asked to find the power using the method na used clutch siya or uniform wear? Now, for uniform wear or for old clutches, gamitin natin yung formula that your power is equal to N, the number of clutches, F, multiply to FA, okay? Tapos, multiply natin kay, ano yun? DO plus DI over 4. Multiply to rotational speed divided by factor. Now, itong FA na to, the same lang no nakuha natin kasi galing siya sa pressure. Now, P is equal to N1 multiply to 0.6 multiply to 13,293. Tama ba? 13,293.94. Tapos, 32 plus 12.7 divided by 4. Kaya lang ito naka-cm. Multiply na natin ang buo yan. You have 10 mm in every cm. And then multiply it to 750 rpm. All in all, divide mo ng factor ng 9549123 Newton millimeter RPM per kilowatt. So, ang lalabas din kilowatts. So, solve ulit natin. 0.6. Recall natin si A. Multiply to 320 plus 127 divided by 4 times 750. Divide by 9549123. Bakit ganun? 320 plus 127. Dapat to minus. Hindi ako nagkakamali. Tama ba? Plus nga. Plus. Divide by 4.6. 750, 9549. Nangyari dun sa pinindot ko. Area pala. Ayun. If not stated, RI. Okay. AF pala dito. Magkakamali ka dito sa AF. Hindi mo pwedeng gamitin to. Ito nga gamitin mo sa AF. Area nung friction. Okay. Pi. Ayun. Pi. Ano nga yun? Ayun. Kunin natin to. Dito tayo nagkamali. Okay. Hindi siya pwede dito. Dapat dyan, kukunin natin si FA. Kunin mo natin si FA. So, FA, may FA tuloy. Tama, FA. Mula sa pressure times area. Now, yung area mo dyan, lagay natin dito sa kabila. Okay? Area for uniform wear. Okay, uniform wear method sa area. That is 2 pi RI RO minus RI. So, AF is equal to ito, 2 pi. Yung RI natin, bali 12.7 divide by 2. Okay. That is 6.35. Multiplied to 32 divided by 2, 16 minus 6.35. Ayan. So, yung AF natin is equal to 2 shift pi times 6.35 multiplied to, uy, yun 6.35, ayan, times 16 minus 6.35. The answer is, hindi, yan. The answer is 385, yung area niya. 385.018 cm squared. Ngayon, yung FA naman, pressure 2 kilogram per cm squared multiplied to area 385.018 cm squared. Ngayon, convert ulit natin. 9.81 Newton in every 1 kilogram force. So, FA is times 2 ko na lang to times 9.81. Mas maliit nga lang. Ngayon, 7. Lagyan natin dito. 7,554. 7,554.051 newtons yung FA. Ilagay mo na dito. Yun. 7,554.051 newtons. So, solve na natin. 0.6 times 7,554.051 times 320 plus 127 divided by 4 times 750 divided by 9549123. Uy, nababa to. 9549123. The answer is 39.78 kilowatts. Yun yung power. 39.78 kilowatts. Talagang mas mababa yung power niya kapag worn na yung yung clutch or gastado na yung clutch. Okay, ganun yun. So that is for problem number 1 dun sa last 3. How about the next problem? A local utility vehicle production company have considered to use in one of its design a multi-disc clutch consisting of 9 steel discs and 8 bronze discs. So meron ka mga pares-pares dyan with effective outside and inside diameter of 220 millimeters and 160 millimeters respectively. If this shaft turns at 1,500 RPM and an axial force of 600 newtons applied, so you have FA already, find the horsepower capacity. So ito yan. Ilang pairs ang meron ka dyan? So, magkakapatong yan. Pair 1, 2, 3. So, alternating. Okay? I-visualize muna natin yung clutches. So, you have there, kung wari, ito blue. Okay? Ito, gawin nating black, yung bronze. Okay? Meron kang blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Tapos ito, 8 dyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ngayon, yung will come in contact dyan, mapapansin mo, 9 and 8. Tignan natin dito sa ating formula. Sabi dyan, you have the number of contact surfaces. Ngayon, sinabi dyan yung number of clutches. Ilang clutches ba meron ka doon? So, you are given a total of 9 and 8. 9 plus 8 is 17 clutches. So, menos isa. Bakit? Kasi yung isa doon, hindi na magkakamin contact doon sa isa. So, pairs ang bibilangin natin. So, babasihan mo yung pairs, ilang clutches ang meron doon. So, 9 plus 8 minus 1. So, you have 16 for the number of clutches na gagamitin mo. Okay. So, for the power, that is equal to N, F, multiplied to FA, RM, and then N. Okay. Divided by yung factor. Ngayon, sinabi ba sa problem if this is new clutch or old clutch? Wala naman sinabi. As is, pag walang sinabi, ang gagamitin natin is uniform pressure method or a new clutch. We assume that it is a new clutch. Now, for the power, direct substitution, so 16 multiplied to, yung coefficient of friction is relatively low for 0.25 multiplied to FA, binigay na sa'yo kagad kung ilang newtons. That is 600 newtons. Axial force yan. And then, RM, new clutch yan. O, di 1/3. Multiplied to DO. Ano ba yung DO mo dyan? 220 millimeter. Cube minus 160 cube divided by 220 squared minus 160 squared. MM na lang ang lalabas dito. You multiply it with D, yung RPM mo. I think that is 1.5. And then, divide mo ng factor. That is 9549123 Newton millimeter RPM divided by kilowatts. Kaya lang ang kailangan natin dito is HP. So, you have 0.746 kilowatts per 1 HP. Now, cancel natin yung same units. Newton, Newton, millimeter, millimeter, RPM, RPM, kilowatt, kilowatt. Ang lalabas is HP. Now, we can solve for the horsepower rating niya. So, 16 times 0.25 times 600 times 1/3 times 220 square, cube na to minus 160 cube divided by 220 square natin minus 160 square times 1.5. And then 9549123 times 0.746. The horsepower rating ng clutch mo is 48.41 HP. That is for the second problem. Now, cone clutch. Direct sub lang naman to. So, cone clutch. A cone clutch has an angle of 10 degrees. Binigay na kagad sa yung cone angle. And a coefficient of friction of 0.42. Find the axial force required if the capacity of the clutch is 7.46 kilowatts and 500 RPM. The mean diameter of the active conical section is 300 millimeter. So, binigay na kagad sa'yo lahat. So, ito na yung formula for cone clutch. Wala namang new or wear-worn clutch na cone. So, direct sub, N, F, FA, RM. Kailangan binigay sa'yo dito is diameter. Diba dm over 2 yan? Multiply to N. Divided by, hindi na po factor ha. Factor times sine angle nung cone. So, hinahanap natin si FA. O, di-reform na lang natin in favor of FA or the axial force. So, that is power times factor multiply to sine alpha. And then, you divide it with yung mga natitira. N, F, FA, RM, FA tuloy. RM, and N. So, makuha natin si FA. Direct sub lang. You are given there 7.46 kilowatts. You multiply it with 9,549 1, 2, 3. Newton, millimeter, RPM, per kilowatt. Sin alpha. Ano ba yung sin alpha mo dyan? Sin 10 degrees. Ayan. You divide it with coefficient of friction, 0.42. The number of clutch disc na meron ka dyan, I think that is one only. A cone clutch nga. A cone clutch. So, isa lang. And then, yung RM mo, that is 300 divided by 2. Tapos, 500 RPM. Anong lalabas dyan na FA? In kilonewtons dapat. Okay, so you have multiplier natin. 1 kilonewton in every 1,000 newtons. Cancel all the same units that is present there. Kilowatt, yung newton, newton, RPM, RPM. Ang lalabas is kilonewton. So, the answer for the final problem for brakes and clutches will be 7.46 times 95449,123 sine 10 degrees. Okay? Divided by 1,000 multiply to 0.42 times 150 kasi 300 divided by 2 is 150 times 500. Now, for the final problem, the answer will be 0. The actual force is 0.3927 kilonewtons. And that will be all for your brakes and clutches. Kailangan lang dun sa brakes, kailangan alam mo yung tight side and slack side, marunong ka din ng FBD. Dito naman sa clutches, alam mo kung paano i-segregate if that is uniform wear or uniform pressure. Babasehan mo rin kung ilang number ng clutch ang gagamitin. Ilang number of pairs, depende sa ibibigay sa'yo. Okay, you should always watch for the worded problem kung ano yung mga binibigay na tawag dito, binibigay na parameters. Okay? And I think that will be all. See you next meeting. Meron pa tayong isang natitirang topic, which is bolts and screws. So, stay tuned.